I'm on Patreon, and Patreon is a platform where I will upload interesting videos where you can learn astrology. And this is an exclusive Patreon only membership videos where you will get some interesting takes on Vedic astrology, some interesting learning on Vedic astrology, much more deep insights on Vedic astrology, and lot more secrets will be shared there.
Aries Ascendant. Jupiter transit in Bharini will happen on your first house. Something unique will also happen. Jupiter will make its move in Bharini, which means Jupiter will cross 13 degree 20 minutes of Aries zodiac sign. And on the day Jupiter will be in Bharini Nakshatra, it will transit to Bharini Nakshatra. Saturn will be at 13 degrees in Aquarius retrograde. That means the aspect of Saturn will be acutely falling on Jupiter, and the third aspect of Saturn on Jupiter will create a series of chain reaction, a transformation that will happen through your 12th house, that will happen through your 10th house. Now, you have to also understand that 12th house, which is Pisces in your case, is under Papkartari. This forms a proper equilateral energy, and this means that you may have to give up on some things during the Jupiter transit in Bharani until the end of November before you can start something else. So it may be a progress in your life where after a lot of struggle and hard work you decide that you want to end up something and you want to begin on new things. Now this finishing off, death of something, so suppose you declare a bankruptcy, or you close down a company, or you quit a job, or you are planning to start a new type of education. Maybe you always wanted to be somebody, but now you are changing the direction. Say you wanted to be an engineer, but now you want to enter into politics. So this may be one expectation coming to an end to pave the way for another set of growth, another set of expectations. Now see, Bharani is a nakshatra of Venus. Venus rules your 7th house and 2nd house. So when Jupiter will go into Bharani Nakshatra, this might increase the desire for finances. This might increase the desire for stability. You might be more desperate to bring new source of income, new money, more wealth to your way, so that you can have a good married life, so that you can have a good family life. Maybe the need in the family is such that you have to focus on, you can say, forceful transformation, some bold decisions that you have to take so that you can satisfy the need and the essential requirements of your life. And that is what will happen when Jupiter will enter Bharani Nakshatra. Keep tracking the position of Venus. Venus will be following Mars during this time, and Venus will follow Mars until Mars reaches Leo zodiac sign. For the entire such duration, because Venus is following Mars, this might increase lust, this might increase greed, this might increase jealousy, and this might also create a push and pull scenario where you are fighting your own, you can say, your own energies. The masculine and the feminine must be balanced because Jupiter wants to create that balance. So in this case, you have to pray to Mahashiva by chanting Om Namah Shivaya, and also chant to Mahadevi by chanting Durga Saptashati, Durga, any Durga mantra, by chanting Mahishasur Mardini Stotra, visiting a Ma Kali temple. That means you have to pray to both masculine form of energy and the feminine form of energy. You have to strike a balance. Because see, the Bharani's position is quite unique. It is basically the confluence of masculine and feminine, the confluence of masculine and feminine giving birth to a creation. That is what Bharani is all about. Because Bharani is acutely Venusian energy, whereas it lies completely in Martian plane of Aries zodiac sign, both representing creation. Bharani also represents death and birth, occult sciences, philosophy, dark practices, tantra. And so when Jupiter goes there, you might also take interest in all these things. And because it is on your head, and especially if you are a Aries moon sign, then definitely the interest to these things will increase, your inclination towards these things will increase, and you might take the shelter of such spiritual practices because you are in problem. Be careful, be mindful of what you're doing. The intent, the motive of your karma should be pure, because if the motive is wrong, Saturn's third aspect will simply annihilate, and from birth it will convert to death. That means from creation it will convert the energies to destruction. Good time to start a new career, good time to think about new possibilities, new opportunities. This might include you relocating, displacing yourself from one position to the other, one country to the other. Depending upon your chart and your Mahadasha, Antardasha, this can promise a marriage, childbirth, learning new things, especially if you are into metaphysical practices, if you are into occult practices, astrology, Vastu, if you are into medicine, if you are trying to be a surgeon, if you are into pharmaceutical industry, if you are into critical and emergency medicines and such practices, you will see great boost in your career during this time. And whatever is the loss will be converted into gains. But again, the intent and motive must be pure. If the intent goes wrong, if the mindset goes to misuse the tantra, misuse the power, there's a lot of negative annotations attached to tantra, as if tantra is nothing but that sensuality, that negative thing. It has been summed up to just one small minuscule energy, minuscule, you can say, expression. Don't go that way. For people who want to practice Kundalini meditation, who want to practice Kriya Yoga, who want to do sadhana during this time, you can do it. Jupiter in Bharini also paves out a way where you can find a guru for yourself. This also gives you an opportunity to do sadhana, to nullify the negative energies in your chart, negative yogas in your chart, because it is on your first house. It aspects 5th and 9th, good for higher education, some education that is thoda hatke, unexceptional, unusual educational path can be taken. Painters, writers will see good boost during this time, and people who have lost the charm in marriage will also see that things will become positive related to marriage, and maybe Jupiter might bless you with positive life partner or reconciliation, and the issues in marriage will also die down and you will have a happy married life during this time. This Jupiter, which is in Bharini, will be influenced heavily by the factors which are right in front of Jupiter. This also means that you will be heavily influenced by the feedback and criticism. So be mindful of that. Don't worry on every statement that has been said against you. React in a positive manner. From the perspective of health, you will have to take care of your sexual health. You will have to take care of if you're a female, you will have to take care of the stomach, the parts that are related for childbirth. And you also have to be very careful about your approach towards the other gender and overall humanity in general. You will have to show that humanitarian energy. If you are into creative field, this will be a good time. But if you will overindulge yourself in work, this will impact your health negatively. See, Jupiter is a planet of expansion, knowledge, wisdom. And Bharini is creation. Bharini is Tantra. Bharini is, you can say, dealing with impossible things in life. Interdimensional and you can say ascension might happen during this time. So you will also see that a lot of people in the world will feel ascension into a higher plane, into a higher dimension. And the talks about this upliftment will be all throughout, and you will see that if you are aligned to those kind of information, if you're aligned to those kind of practices, you will see a lot of people will join you, and this gives you an opportunity to find a like-minded friend, and all of us as a community can grow into the path of ascension. I will make another video for that. But for Aries, it's very important because it is on your first house, so it impacts your head. This Jupiter in Bharini will also impact your own brain. So take the health of your brain and the health of your eyesight very carefully. From the perspective of Venus and Mars transit, because they will be moving from Cancer to Virgo and then to Libra zodiac sign, that will be the trend of Venus and Mars. If you're doing anything for enjoyment, then you will have to limit it. Remember, Jupiter is not a tamasic planet. Tamasic enjoyment will not work out here. But anyone who is a practitioner of Tantra will see great possibilities and you will see great boost of energies during this time. If you are into healing and energy healing or any alternative healing practices or in wellness industry, this will also show you great career boost, and overall energy will be all-time high. You will feel very enthusiastic, happy and motivated. Use this energy wisely. I will repeat, intent should be pure. Taurus. Now Jupiter will be in Bharini Nakshatra in your 12th house. And Bharini is ruled by Venus. Venus is your Lagna Lord. Venus is your 6th Lord. And when Jupiter is in Bharini, Venus is with Mars. So there is a Mars and Venus conjunction. Basically, the energies which Jupiter will experience in the 12th house will be available in the 3rd house. So this means that your mind will be occupied towards new initiatives. You would want to take new angle, bring in new angle in your life so that you can cover up your losses, you can repay your debts, you can take care of your health. Because it is the 12th house, it will affect overseas travel. It will affect people who are living in the different countries, who are living abroad. It will affect people who want to go abroad but facing visa issues, or any student who want to enroll into a foreign university. Jupiter transit in Bharini Nakshatra in the 12th house will give you new ideas and new perspective of life. It will change the signature of your subconscious brain, and new ideas will come, new ways to solve the problem will appear to you. So if you are stuck somewhere, Jupiter in Bharini can be a blessing in the 12th house. If you are into export and import, if you are into the export and import of medical supplies, medical goods, pharmacies, vaccines, Jupiter in Bharini will help you a lot in that case. Now in case of Taurus, you have to understand that Jupiter naturally causes Vipreet Rajyog while it is in Aries, because Jupiter rules 8th house. When 8th Lord goes in the 12th house and Jupiter goes in Bharini along with Rahu, for a lot of people it will be a new birth, a new lease of life. So if you are sick, or if you know that you are unhealthy, if you are in hospital, this Jupiter in Bharini can give you once in a lifetime experience of weird recovery that you have not seen before. You will also see that if you are working into a hospital, if you are a nurse, especially if you are working in a hospital that facilitates the delivery of the childbirth, if you are a gynecologist, if you are a doctor of medicine in gastroenterology, I'm sorry if the pronunciation is wrong, or if you are a sexologist, all these things which might be unusual, not everybody will study all these things, but if you are an expert in that, you will see great boost, because Jupiter in 12th house will allow you to heal such people, and a lot of people will get healed. I'm going to make a separate video where I will talk about Jupiter in Bharini and the process of ascension. Now, because it is going to affect your 12th house, it will upgrade your mental frequency. You will see that the faith in the divine will develop. Occult energies will start affecting you, and you will see positive outlook into many things. But we cannot forget that Rahu is present along with Jupiter, and there is a retrograde Saturn in the 10th house aspecting Jupiter and Rahu, which means you also have to donate, share what you know, try to be available for people who are isolated. You might feel lonely and isolated, especially if you are in a bad marriage. Bharini transit of Jupiter can help you revive by giving a new lease of life. Remember, Bharini is a nakshatra of life and death. Jupiter is also the lord of 11th house, and when it goes in Bharini, it can revive a long lost contact, a long lost relation. Maybe you will meet a good old friend, and you will get help from unexpected sources. But 12th house is also something that is right in front of you, but you can't see. That is kind of hidden. So definitely Jupiter in Bharani might also bring in some hidden enemies, conspiracies, people trying to sabotage your plans. This is on the negative side. And Jupiter in Bharani can also create paranormal activities in your horoscope. Not for everyone, but in certain cases where moon is heavily afflicted. Don't judge whether your moon is afflicted or not unless you have been told by an expert astrologer. But if your moon is heavily afflicted, if your Jupiter by birth is in Rahu, then Jupiter in Bharani in 12th house, you should refrain from spending a lot of money. You should refrain from sleeping in the dark. You should refrain from watching horror movies or viewing the dark scenes and thinking about aliens and spacecrafts. For the time being, focus on what is present. Focus on your income. Focus on your health. Focus on the overall well-being. Focus how you can manage your expenses, and focus how you can cut down your prarabdha, because Jupiter will directly aspect the 6th house. On top of that, if you see the trajectory of Mars and Venus, the two energies which will influence Jupiter, it will be in the 3rd house first, affecting your decisions, affecting your initiatives. It might create a lot of doubts in your mind. It might create a lot of confusion initially, but after the month of July, when Mars and Venus will come in the sign of Leo, which is your 4th house, Jupiter's direct aspect will fall on them. So Jupiter's blessing will allow Mars, Venus and Jupiter to work in sync, and this will give a lot of success, especially in the manufacturing sector, FMCG sector, food industry, something that is involved in renovation, tiling, beautification, vastu, interior designing, clothing, and also manufacturing of medicines, engineering and beauty products. Jupiter in Bharani will also be exceptionally good for people who are involved in clothing industry, fashion industry, but this is something like fashion which is very different from the usual trend. So this Jupiter will try to take you away from the normal trend and will try to make you some special. It will give you some special energy, some special focus, some special ideas. Not everything can be fulfilled, but what can be fulfilled should be fulfilled. Chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, thinking about Bhagwan Mahavishnu, focusing on the Dashavatar of Mahavishnu, focusing on the story of Samudra Manthan, focusing on the occult energies, because it is 12th house, reading books in silence, in isolation in your own home, or sometime like reading Bhagavad Gita, reflecting your thoughts, inner reflection, all this will bring positive energy while Jupiter is in Bharani. But this is also the time when you might incur extra expenses if you trust someone blindly, especially on the financial matters. People who are involved in physiotherapy, people who are involved in sports medicine, people who are involved in cutting edge medical technologies like robotics, AI based healing or surgeries will see great boost during this time. Especially surgeons will get a lot of prominence and respect during this time. Overall, for Taurus, Jupiter in Bharani will create a new way of life, a complete transformation like you have never seen before, huge effect of occult energies on the mind. So sadhana done during this time to improve the qualities of horoscope will work beautiful for you. It will create new source of income. It will create the old, create the new, bring in new contacts, detoxify you, and will change the perspective of life. The subconscious energies will change. So sleep with some good music or some important bhajan playing in the background so that your subconscious mind is treated with positive energy. The first thing that you do in the day should be thanking the universe for all that you have and being grounded. Drink a little bit of warm water early in the morning if possible, and take care of your lust, because after all, Jupiter, Rahu, and with Jupiter in Bharini in the 12th house, can expand the area of the Mooladhara chakra, and the energies can go out of bound. Practicing Kundalini meditation without a guru is not recommended. Gemini zodiac sign. Now, in case of Gemini, Jupiter in Bharani will be in the 11th house. What is about 11th house? 11th house is the zodiac sign or the bhava that represents your gains, your profits, something that you can achieve, something that you can excel in, something that involves your salary, something that involves your gains, be it health, be it wealth. When Jupiter goes in Bharani Nakshatra, see, Mercury will be along with Jupiter and Rahu, which is basically your ascendant lord, and then Mercury will move towards the zodiac sign of Taurus and then ultimately move to Gemini. So the trajectory of Mercury is towards the Lagna. That means the Mercury carries the information of Bharani Jupiter and then relays it to the ascendant. So the essence of this transit will be felt more when the Mercury transit will be in the zodiac sign of Gemini. But because there is a Jupiter and Rahu association, and Rahu is moving towards your career whereas Jupiter is moving towards the 12th house, this shows that whatever gains you will have will definitely give you a future aspiration, will give you a future hope, but it will also demand some sort of sacrifice. This gain is maybe not for you, not for an immediate purpose, but this is to reinvest, this is to focus more, this is to give you enough strength so that you can sustain what comes in the future. So it's more like a relief that you will experience when Jupiter will be in Bharani Nakshatra. It is greatly going to affect people who are employed in creative work, who are employed in health related work, health industry, pharmaceutical industry, wellness industry will see great boost when Jupiter will be in this particular house. Jupiter being in Bharani will also affect the second house. Why? Because the Lord of the 11th house and the Lord of the Nakshatra will be together in the second house, and you will experience that Mars and Venus association in the sign of Cancer will create comparison with respect to money, especially in the family. So don't be disheartened if you earn less, or if somebody earns way more than you, or between husband and wife, if husband earns more than wife or wife earns more than husband. Money should not come in between relationship. That is one lesson that this Jupiter will teach to all of us, that we all humans are on the same boat to nirvana. Money is just a medium of sustenance on this realm. It has no meaning before or after this life, and therefore what carries with you is karma. So the real currency is karma and time. That is where Jupiter wants you to focus. Bharani's occult nature will tell you the true meaning of gains in life, and if you are too ignorant, especially towards health, Jupiter might teach you a lesson, whereas you will remember or you will understand how important health is above everything else in this life. Jupiter in Bharani will exceptionally help healers, mentors, philosophers, teachers, writers. If you want to work for government, this is going to help you a lot. Jupiter in Bharani is also going to give you gains through Tantra, gains through Mantra, because Jupiter will directly aspect the 5th house. But because it is with Rahu, if you try to chant mantras only for material satisfaction, and that too a very tamasic one, then remember that Rahu in the 10th may create havoc, and Jupiter in the 12th, Jupiter may have to give you because of your own horoscope, but once it moves in the 12th house, you will have to lose it all. So what you are asking and why you are asking, because gain has to come through Jupiter, why you are asking and what is the true intent of your demand has to be seen. It must be pure. because any demand that is impure in nature, that has no higher meaning, might be squashed by the power of Jupiter. Jupiter has to follow the Saturn also, because Saturn is in the ninth house, and Saturn is a retrograde. So a retrograde Saturn will aspect your 11th house. It might also happen that you are demanding something, but the circumstance changes, your understanding changes, and suddenly your demand also changes. Your faith towards certain aspect changes, which alters your expectations in life, and you end up choosing something else. So you will have to be very careful. Remember the story of Kumbhakarna. He was a devotee, he was a dharmic, he was a danav, but he was very much into dharma. But see what happens. The entire cosmos will never let a devil overtake anything. That's the true nature of it. No matter how strong the evil forces become, they will not be able to overtake. Remember, in case of Kumbhakarna, when he was asking the boon from Shri Brahma, Ma Saraswati sat on the tongue of Kumbhakarna, and it changed the very word, very demand. See, his demand was fulfilled, but his demand got changed. He asked for nidra, sleep. So he was given this curse as a fulfillment of the boon of his own karma. So this is what exactly might happen. All your hard work might just convert into ashes, just because the result of the hard work that you demand is really negative, because the intent was actually negative. So you will have to be very cautious on that part. Jupiter in Bharini is also going to help the pregnant women. It will give them relief. So anyone who wants to conceive a child, or who is trying to conceive a child, or who is about to deliver the child, should chant Narayan Suktam. Also pray to Bhagwan Narayan. Very simple, very light part of Bhagwan Narayan, by simply chanting Hare Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram Hare Krishna. The Naam Jap is going to be extremely helpful, and for couples who are trying for childbirth will also see something positive going in their side. And overall productivity of life will increase, but will need major reforms, and sometimes your gains will also surprise you. Sometimes you will get much more than what you have anticipated in life, and that is definitely going to please you. But remember, you must follow the path of dharma. Relationship might go for a toss during this time, so be very alert, because your 7th house is ruled by Jupiter, and that Jupiter is in the 11th house. Ideally it should give positive turn of events in the relationship, but because Mars and Venus are trying to catch each other, and Mars will be debilitated, and then Mars will go to the sign of Leo, and Venus will follow the suit. Until and unless Mars and Venus stabilizes, the power of Jupiter for you will affect marriage, because Jupiter also aspects the Sagittarius zodiac sign. In case you have to discuss something in marriage, or you have to come to a conclusion, or if you have to decide something together between husband and wife, between two partners, then the right time will be after 16th of July. Now Jupiter is going to move in Bharini Nakshatra, will become retrograde also in this nakshatra. So definitely you will see that for people who are trying for a change of career, a change of domain, foreign relocation, working in an MNCs throughout the world, will see great boost during this time. You keep working hard. Change in career will be very much possible, provided your horoscope also allows that. And for students, it's going to be a time which will be you will gain more than what you give. This comes from the past life. Your attention span will increase, and your focus will also increase. Just that you should be more attentive and study early in the morning instead of late in the night. Overall, Jupiter transit in Bharini stands to give you a transcendental gain, a gain that you have not expected even from yourself. So be ready to change, and change the way you think, change your attitude, because all will happen in your favor. Remember, Dev Guru Brihaspati aspects your trine 3, 7 and 11, and is now in the potential to fulfill your gains. And at last, I will repeat it once again. Your demand and your wishes will be fulfilled by Jupiter. Be careful what you ask for. Cancer Ascendant. In case of Cancer Ascendant, Kark Lagna and Kark Rashi, Cancer zodiac sign, Jupiter is very important because it rules Dharma and Prarabdha. It rules your ninth house and it rules your sixth house. This Jupiter, when it goes to Bharini Nakshatra, it goes in the 10th house. It has crossed the position of Rahu and it goes into the nakshatra of Venus in the 10th, improving the creativity in your career. So directly impacting anyone who is into media, who is into creativity, creative profession, musicians, singers, occult professionals, professionals who are into field of astrology, healing, life coaching, alternative medicines, acupuncture, Ayurveda, wellness industry, and anyone who is involved in who is a gynecologist and who is involved into child care services. Jupiter in the 10th house in Bharani for other people also will give a chance to be more creative in your career. But while you are being creative, you have to make sure that you are not crossing a certain line, crossing a certain boundary. Otherwise, this can create controversies, this can create more issues, and sometimes innovation can backfire. So while you are being creative, you have to be very practical. Like, say, for example, if somebody is having a creative approach towards finding a solution, but that is not client-friendly approach. It may be say a graphic designer tries to build a logo for a company. Then the graphic designer is doing its best to build the bestest possible logo according to his artistic point of view. But when he presents it to a client, the client rejects the logo straightforward because the client has something else in mind. So this is where the innovation can backfire. But if the graphic designer understands the need of the client truly, if it understands the client's intentions, then he will suppress his artistic skills, what he wants to do. Rather, he will give the artistic output to what the client wishes so that the meaning is not lost. Sometimes with innovation, you can lose the true sense or true meaning. You can lose your way. So be very careful in that angle. But otherwise, Jupiter can also give you creative ways to find a new career. Anyone who wants to do something for their talent, like if you have a talent and you want to convert into a source of income, then it can be a good time. Anyone who is into who is a technical recruiter, who is into talent acquisition, HR professionals will see great boost during this time. But the career and the professional side of life, or the events that are happening in the professional side of life or in the office, might impact your personal life big time. Because Jupiter is in Bharani, while being very friendly towards people, while you are trying to throw a party, then you have to see also your own pocket. While you want to be and mingle with a certain group and you want to make friends, you also have to understand, can they really be your friends? Do you really want to be in that group, or it is just a kind of you can say a validation that your mind needs? Especially if your moon is afflicted with Rahu or your moon is in 8th house, you have to be careful during this time. Because a retrograde Saturn will be aspecting this Jupiter from the 8th house. While the Jupiter goes in Bharani, Saturn and Jupiter will be almost at the same degree, and this means that immediately you will experience a kind of a turnaround in your career, a turnaround in your reputation, a turnaround in the way you see yourself and the way the world sees you. Now try to also see the houses that are aspected by Jupiter. Jupiter will aspect the 2nd house, the 4th house and the 6th house. So Jupiter is definitely going to improvise on the asset side of life. So Jupiter will try to help you build more assets, probably a new home, a new car. Jupiter aspect on the 2nd house will also give you chance to increase your bank balance, bring financial security. But then the events that will happen because of Rahu until 30th of October, there will always be a certain level of insecurity, and the career might be at risk if your horoscope is at risk. Also, Jupiter aspecting 6th house will also mean that you have to take on extra responsibility. You will have to be creative in a way that you put yourself in a situation where you are taking more than one responsibility, so that you prove yourself to be versatile. If you are an expert in one field, but still you are picking up tasks here and there, and you are showcasing yourself as someone who can be a leader, who can actually be creative in finding solutions, thoda hatke, slightly different, then Jupiter will actually give you a lot of positive blessings. But until Rahu is with Jupiter in Ashwini Nakshatra, and if you have any planet in Aries zodiac sign, you have to be watchful, because Jupiter in Bharini is very tantric in nature. Jupiter is all about knowledge. Bharini is secret. Bharini is something that allows you to transcend from between life and death. So this can be a do or die kind of situation for many people, but this can also be a situation where a dead career can be revived, or one wrong move and a good flourishing career can be equal as dead. So that care, that awareness must be there. Otherwise, if you are aware, if you are chanting positive mantras, if you are doing the right karma, now the dharma becomes the karma. So visiting the temples, doing the chanting, helping the poor, learning new things, exploring new ideas, new technology, new horizons, that is the right way to operate when Jupiter is in Bharini Nakshatra. Otherwise, the 10th house Jupiter is actually very good. Just that 10th house energies is basically application of knowledge and not the learning itself. So try to apply whatever you learn and learn on the go. That is going to be your dharma. Sometimes you have to, your reputation might be at stake. So if you have a weak sun, you have to be watchful on that angle also. From the health perspective, you just have to take care of your holistic health. But because Jupiter is aspecting 2nd and 4th house, and Jupiter is your 9th lord, a 9th lord in 10th house aspecting 2nd house, 4th and 6th will give you positive results in terms of finances. It will take away the enemies, give you more better opportunity to transform the way you... So basically it will change the way you approach things. And just because your approach changes, be it personal or professional, the outcome changes. So that is the power of Jupiter in Bharini for Cancer natives. Leo Ascendant. From 21st June, Leo will experience a Jupiter in Bharini in the 9th house. Now, Jupiter rules your 5th house and Jupiter rules your 8th house. And 5th and 8th lord Jupiter goes in 9th house. This is going to expand your luck. And so a lot of people will try to gamble during this time. A lot of people will try to focus their mind and energy and their finances to speculative gains. If you are investing in stock market, mutual funds, or any such instruments of speculative gains, you have to be extremely cautious, because this can be a play of Rahu. Rahu and Jupiter will be in the 9th house, and still they will form Guru Chandal until October 30th. So whatever steps you take, especially regarding your investment, regarding your investment in market or risky instruments of business, be very, very watchful. Don't trust your luck during this time. See, Jupiter in Bharini can also create a situation of life and death. Because Jupiter in 9th house will be somewhat a guru who will try to teach you. Now, the teaching should be to come out from death-like scenario and give life. So this Jupiter will act as a life giver. But if you throw away the energies of Jupiter, if you believe in your luck too much, then Jupiter in Bharini can also create a danda for you, or a punishment in the form of loss of luck, loss of wealth. So you will see that for a lot of people, luck will favor themselves, and for a lot of people, luck will suddenly go against them, as if the world has gone against them. If you find that luck is not favoring you, the world is going against you, things are not working in the right direction for you, immediately focus on what you have been doing from in your career, in your personal life. What is your karma till now? Something is there that you have been doing or performing in a wrong manner, and Jupiter got enraged because of this kind of arrangement. Be very watchful of that. See, Jupiter in the ninth house will also aspect your first and fifth house as well as the third house. So it will be great for people who are into occult practices, who are priests, who are doing all the japas, astrologers, Reiki healers, pranic healers, tarot readers, basically anyone who is involved into this psychic reading or psychic phenomenon will see great boost. But Jupiter will also, because it is in Rahu, can make you come in contact with fraudsters, somebody who poses to be a psychic but is not really a psychic. So be very mindful of how you proceed in your life. Also, because of Venus and Mars position in your first house initially, and Venus retrogression on your first and the 12th house throughout this period, you will experience a lot of turbulent personality issues, like how to put your mind and heart, where to put your mind and heart. And on one side, this Jupiter and Mars will give you a lot of power and courage, but on the other side, Venus will also try to take away any support. So it will be like a one man fighting, one man standing kind of situation. So the more self-dependent you are, the better it will be during a Jupiter transit in Bharini Nakshatra. Bharini being a nakshatra of Venus, you have to be watchful of your Venus in your birth chart. And because if your Venus is weak, this Jupiter in Bharini can create more complicated situations, especially related to health in the lower back region. Also, this can create sexual issues. You have to be very watchful of that. And while Jupiter is in Bharini Nakshatra, your creative energy will be at its all-time high. But you must know where to put your creative energy and how to put your creative energy, because it will overflow. And if energy overflows, then it will go waste. So give your talent, your interest, some direction. Learn something new, learn something creative during this time, because that will go in the long run in maintaining the stable mind, and also balancing the hyper masculine energy in your birth chart. Jupiter in Bharini Nakshatra in the ninth house will also aspect your third house, and therefore anyone who is interested in education and wanted to travel somewhere, enrolling in a different university, international or national, this is going to favor those students. But again, because Jupiter rules your fifth house, it is good because it is fifth from fifth. So this is like a bhava, the bhavama position for you, Leo ascendant. But Jupiter is also eighth lord, so it is going to bring sudden changes, and you will see that something in your life, personal or professional, will suddenly stop. There will be a break. And whenever that break happens, understand that something new will begin, because Bharini is a nakshatra of birth and death and rebirth again. So definitely this Jupiter will transcend you to a new dimension. Ascension is on the way. If you meditate and if you do Guru Bij Mantra Japa, this is going to help you a lot. Also, if you try to educate or distribute education, books, knowledge, this will be like your dharma. And if you fulfill this dharma, you will see that you will be protected from all the obstacles. Career-related changes, marriage-related changes are on the way, especially through your own actions. But whatever you do will be either a do or die situation, a life and death kind of situation, not literally, but or you will have to choose one path and the other option completely freezes, completely closes. These kind of dilemmas will be there for Leo ascendant and moon sign natives. But because Jupiter has the kripa of drishti, the aspect of Jupiter falls on the ascendant. If you are not very aggressive, if you are balancing both the masculine and the feminine side of your life, and if you are praying to Bhagwan Mahashiva and Ma Gauri, you will be able to manage this Jupiterian energy and create the maximum positive energy out of this. Bharini Nakshatra Jupiter can give life to almost dead things. It has miraculous power to pull out things from the worst possible situation. And because it is in your ninth house, a divine kripa, a blessing from the God, can actually pull you out So this cannot be avoided or ignored. This is exactly the time when you seek shelter in spirituality and ask help from the God. Because Bharini can transcend dimensions. Interdimensional messages spiritually can come your way. You just need to be alert. And a lot of people who are non-spiritual will experience some spiritual shift and might also come in the path of spirituality. So this is the time when a lot of people who are Leo moon, Leo ascendant, and in certain cases, Leo being in the 8th house, will see sudden push to the path of spirituality. Virgo. Now for Virgo, Jupiter transit in Bharini is going to be exceptionally important transit, especially if you're a Virgo moon sign native. Now this is because Jupiter will move in Bharini Nakshatra in the Ashtama Bhava. Now Ashtama Bhava is also called as Ayu Bhava, or you can, a lot of people say Mrityu Bhava, but it is more like house of longevity. But because 8th house is, you can also say it's a blind spot, it's more like hidden treasure. Something that is not visible to you, something that is really hidden, like hidden talent, hidden knowledge, or any kind of discovery through data mining, forensic analysis. All that is seen from the 8th house. Insurance, long-term investments, and also the assets of your spouse or assets of public is also seen from the 8th house. But 8th house primary property is more occult in nature, secrecy. So when Jupiter goes in Bharini Nakshatra, in the Ashtama Bhava, it starts creating secret lifestyle. It starts creating a kind of a, it asks you to focus more on your hidden knowledge, hidden talent. So anyone who is into occult science, occult practice, or anyone who is into research work, data mining, data analysis, or very advanced technology, space, quantum, or you can say nuclear, or someone who is into forensic sciences, will see great boost, or your interest might develop more during Jupiter in Bharini, because Bharini is a nakshatra of life and death. 8th house is the Ayu Bhava, and Jupiter is called Jivakaraka, the one that allows life to sustain. See, Sun can give life. Sun is the Atmakaraka, it gives the soul. But for the body to sustain, you need Jupiter. You need Jupiter because Jupiter is the knowledge by which you can sustain. If humans didn't know how to do agriculture, do you think the civilization would have lasted this long? Would we, as hunter and gatherers, would be able to sustain till now? I don't think so. It is only through the process of agriculture and then technological advancements. As the wisdom grew, the humanity as a civilization also grew more and more and more. And when Jupiter goes in the Ashtama Bhava, it gives you an interest, a sneak peek into such kind of deep dive into information. And you have to accept it the way it is, because 8th house has no sugar coating. 8th house is bare, raw and crude in nature. So whatever the thing is will come as it is. And Jupiter in Bharini will give you a kind of a situation where your mind will be focused more on the occult sciences. So especially Virgo moon natives, if you can focus more on the mantra japa, kriya yoga, focusing more on the spiritual side of life, you will see a great spiritual advancement during this time. Astrologers, Vastu practitioners, healers, essential oil therapists, you can say tarot card reader, runes. Then there are so many varieties of psychic readings. People who are psychic mediums will experience a portal opening in their mind, which will allow them to focus on the interdimensional knowledge. Especially someone who is an expert in Akashic records, past life regression, name it. You take any branch and you will see that if you have an interest or if you are a practitioner of it, new possibilities will open up during this time. For a layman, Jupiter in Bharini will also be an end to some part of your life and a beginning of a very new part that you have not experienced before. This is like a new knowledge coming your way. Say, for example, someone who was employed in a certain sector could not have believed that, say, if he is employed in company A, can go to company B. If he is given a project A, he can also do project B. It will affect you on the basis of your horoscope. Various people will have various experiences, but if your Jupiter in your birth chart is afflicted, it is in Guru Chandal, it is debilitated, it is in the 3rd house, 6th house, or 12th house, you might experience some shift in the energy. So you take care of your health, especially your mental health. Over research will be a problem here. Over analysis will be a problem. And you will try to learn more, but you will gather information that might be of no use in the current context. So you will have to find that right balance between acquiring information and then information that is useful in the current context. People who want to bring a change in their career can actually bring a change, but this will help a lot of people who are into business, who are into real estate. On the other hand, if you see that 7th house Lord Jupiter will be in the 8th house, in Bharini, this can create a make or break situation in marriage, with your in-laws, with your relatives. So you will have to be fundamentally correct in your action, because Saturn is retrograde in the 6th house and aspects this Jodi, this conjunction of Jupiter and Rahu. And when Jupiter will be in Bharini, which is the nakshatra of Venus, you have to track the position of Venus, but Venus will be oscillating between your 11th and 12th house. So definitely there is a possibility that you're investing a lot of money, or you are investing on the basis of someone's faith. Whatever you do, even a single rupee of investment should be done after thorough data analysis and knowing the possibility that what will happen to you if the project is shelved or lost. What will you do? If you have that backup plan, proceed with this Jupiter in Bharini, and this creative power of Jupiter will give you something so beautiful, so unique that you have never experienced before. Also, if you have any planet in Bharini Nakshatra, Jupiter will expand that power. Just that you will have to control your anger, especially the sin of lust, and you have to focus more on the creative expression of life. Find your hidden talent and emphasize on that. Work on that talent. A 6th house retrograde Saturn will give you obstacles, will give you hurdles, but a Jupiter in 8th can pull you out from almost dead-like situation and can give really new lease of life. So you can see a lot of Virgo natives, Virgo ascendant people will feel this, that although there is a problem, but somewhere there is a new light coming your way. But if you follow the path of gambling, cheating, negative energy, tamasic energy, then the same Jupiter and Rahu will create a Daitya Yoga, and this Bharini energy will bring in, you can say the portal opens, but who enters from that portal? Which dimension are you tapping into? You will then tap the lower dimension and the dark forces will enter your world, and that can create mental issues, agony, paranormal experiences, supernatural experiences, negative experiences. So be extremely mindful of which energy you are tapping into during this time. Unexplored territories will pose danger, so be careful. And anyone who is practicing Tantra should be very, very well equipped with what you are doing. Any experimentation with Tantra can be very, very dangerous. Jupiter also rules your 4th house, so you will also see that health of your mother can also pose some problem, and any renovation in the house, any vastu correction is recommended during this time. But buying a property should be done after analyzing your next 10 years of your financial timeline. But this has the potential to give you positive change. Expect something positive, but then follow the money trail, focus on the criticism, and believe that you might also go wrong and be ready to correct. That is exactly what Saturn and Jupiter combined energies in your 6th and 8th are about to teach you. If you do that, there is no other beautiful transit than Jupiter in Bharini in 8th house. be ready for the change. Libra. In case of Libra Ascendant, Jupiter transit to Bharini Nakshatra will happen in the 7th house. 7th house is basically house of marriage, house of relationship, house of business contracts. And when Jupiter goes there in Bharini, it will expand the nature of the mind in such a way that you will have more creative approach towards problems, towards other people, towards marriage and towards business. Remember that Bharini is a nakshatra ruled by Venus, and Venus is your first lord. So you have to basically track the movement of Venus, and whenever Venus is positive while Jupiter is Bharini, you will see positive results. Whenever Venus is negative, this will show ups and downs in business and in relationships. Especially with respect to children, you will have certain level of concern. Considering Jupiter being your 6th lord, and this 6th lord coming in the 7th house and in Bharini Nakshatra, it shows that it can be in certain cases like a do or die situation, especially in troubled marriages, in business that is nearly failing. So you can face a difficult situation there, but if you apply innovative techniques, you have to do something that is different from what is usual. You have to do something different from what is that is already predefined. So there has to be something new that you will have to try, and when you will do that, you will see Jupiter in Bharani will try to save you as much as possible. 7th house is also a house where you meet your interests. You meet somebody or something in life that somehow supplements your goal, your aspirations. That is why there is a handshaking done between the 1st and the 7th house. And because it is also a part of the karma trine, the trine of desire, 3, 7 and 11, while Jupiter aspecting the 3rd and the 11th house and your ascendant, it represents that there is a tremendous change in personality coming your way, and there will be somebody involved in that change. It can be your spouse, it can be your very good friend, it can be a mentor or a guru, but somebody's influence or intervention will change the very basis of your life, and this is like, it's like a new birth. In many cases, a failed marriage can also be saved during this time, but you will have to be very creative. You will have to have that intention. You will have to have that faith on the planet Jupiter. Because Jupiter aspects your 11th house, if you survive this tug of war, if you are balanced, if you are not greedy, because Bharini may express itself as more a lot of desire. So the desire will expand, but the desire fulfillment depends on the action. The reason being the presence of retrograde Saturn in the 5th house, and that retrograde Saturn aspecting this Jupiter in Bharani in the 7th house, at least until 4th of November. Which means that you will have to bring in some compromises, especially in marriage. Your desire to marry someone if you are unmarried will increase, but retrograde Saturn will ask you to focus more on what is functional rather than what is decorative. It will ask you to change your approach in a way that you are focused more on what is good for you, what you need rather than what you want. See, desire can only be fulfilled especially by planet Jupiter, if that desire is actually good for you. Jupiter will not just fulfill any desire. So be very careful, be very mindful of what you ask from Jupiter during this time. Now, anyone who has a profession, business associated with Bharani Nakshatra, say anyone who is a gynecologist, anyone who is into medical science, anyone who is into critical medicine, anyone who is into occult practice, who is an astrologer, healer, alternative medicine, wellness centers, anyone who is more into creative industry, or anyone who is into NGOs and serving the society, all will see some creative boost, some help, some growth during this time. Ketu's presence in the first house was the most negative effect a Libra can face. But with Jupiter coming in Bharani right in the 7th house, this is like a new lease of life. So on one side, if you use, because this is pure energy, if you use it for the constructive purpose, it will give you a constructive output. And if you use it for a destructive purpose, it will destroy you. We should never forget that the deity associated with Bharani Nakshatra is Yamaraj, the Dharmaraj. That means it is also a nakshatra that creates a situation where either it is very difficult or it is like a new lease of life, depending upon your own karma. And Jupiter will only bring more knowledge into that. Jupiter will bring, more, you can say your attention will draw. It will try to educate you. So you will also get to know the dead ends of your life, be it job, be it a business. And when you see that dead ends, and if you try to work on those dead ends, it will be like a brilliant thing that you can do. Because see, there is less room for this Jupiter to expand, but this will be a more of educative transit, more of desire, less of results. Your desire may convert into actions, but actions will not convert into results soon, just because of Saturn's retrogression affecting your 7th house as well as your 11th house. So in the war between a retrograde Saturn and Jupiter in Bharani, you also have to understand that Saturn's retrograde is in Satabhisha Nakshatra. So if you capture the essence of retrograde Saturn in Satabhisha and Jupiter in Bharani, this means something that is sick, something that is weakened in your life will have to be worked upon, and that will see some sign of improvement. So it's more of recovery. It's more of rejuvenation. It's more of, completely altering the personality and trying to be somebody new. Because it aspects your ascendant, it can affect your health in a good way. It can focus more on your personality, your projection of personality, and it will try to heal any kind of scar or gap that Ketu must have created while being in the first house. Overall, Jupiter transit in Bharani in the 7th house will give mixed results. You have to be very alert. You will have to focus on the positive side of this transit. And whenever you see that Jupiter is trying to, create blockages, or you are forgetting things, or whenever you are trying to focus on growth, money doesn't come, you're putting your hard efforts, but results are not coming. Try to understand that Jupiter wants to teach you something. Praying Vishnu Sahasranam during this time will be extremely helpful. And always stay meditated on the Harinam. Scorpio. Now in case of Scorpio, Jupiter will be in Bharani Nakshatra in your 6th house. Now 6th house is not famous for Jupiter to be called as a brilliant placement. 6th house is rather a placement of difficulty, and when Jupiter goes in this house, you can see that Jupiter has this nature to expand and nature to teach. So Jupiter will try to expand the ideas in the 6th house, and it will give both positive and slightly difficult results. But all the difficulty, all the hurdles, all the obstacles is to give you a proper teaching for the betterment of your career, for the betterment of your wealth. Now we underestimate the power of 6th house. We always see 6th house being the Aribhava, the enemy house, the Prarabdha Karma. But we forget that 6th house has two more important roles. First, it is one of the 4 Upache house, the houses which are responsible to allow you to sustain your day-to-day activities in this life. Second, 6th house is also a part of Artha Trikona, Artha Trine, or the financial trine, which is 2, 6 and 10th house. In your case, one of the financial trine lord goes in the trine. That means Sagittarius is your 2nd house, and 2nd lord goes in the 6th house, and you all know that 2, 6 and 10 forms the Earth Trikona. Now when 2nd lord comes in 6th house, financially it is not said to be good, but where it will give help? It will give help by cutting down the loans. It will give help by allowing your wealth to be used to cancel out any duty, any inherent responsibility. So yes, you may in a certain way experience a kind of a hurdle, but if you look it in a very different way, if you change your perspective, the same hurdle will no longer be a hurdle. It won't be Jupiter in 6th house negative effect. Rather, it will be Jupiter in 6th house positive effect. One more thing. Jupiter rules your 5th house, and this goes in the 6th house. 5th lord goes second from itself. This is also going to be affecting the 5th house. Although the position of Jupiter with respect to their zodiac, its zodiac Sagittarius and Pisces is okay, but just because Jupiter is one of the Trikabhava, kind of, people are worried, especially when Jupiter is in Bharini Nakshatra. Now, Bharini is a nakshatra of life and death. Bharini is a nakshatra of justice. Bharini is a nakshatra of intense transformation, of occult. So definitely you will see that the hurdles, the obstacles, the challenges, the opposition in your life at this point of time is to expand you financially, is to give you more skills which you can develop by, you can kind of sharpening yourself. So if you are getting a challenge, if you are getting a possibility, if you feel that you are getting a opportunity to showcase your talent by firefighting in career, or maybe solving some difficult problems, it will be great if you take that challenge and prove yourself, because this Jupiter in Bharini will be a time to prove yourself. Bharini is a nakshatra of occult energies. Bharini is also the nakshatra of interdimensional transformations. And when Jupiter goes in 6th house, it will transform you. But how? Number one, through your health. So initially this Jupiter transit might bring some negative repercussions in the health, especially from the digestive, for the digestive health and for the health of your liver. If you take care of food, if you take care of your exercise, your lifestyle, then you will see that there will be innovative solutions to the problems of your health. You might get healed by alternative therapies, you might get healed by energy healing. Something different will try to come in support of you to give you proper health, because Jupiter is not the planet that would like to kill you. Jupiter is a planet that would like to heal you. So this Jupiter in Bharini will expand the healing properties, but will also crack open the problematic areas, and you will also see that you are now seeing and learning the flaws in your life. The problems that were hidden or you were ignoring will now come right in front of you, because Jupiter wants you to learn about those problems, know that you have these fault lines, and a slight shaking of life will draw your attention towards those fault lines, and you will be forced to correct it. If you correct it, what will happen? Number one, prarabdha karma will be cleared to a certain extent, which is actually good for you. Unnecessary debts has to be avoided, and if you can focus your earning towards clearance of your debts, financial debts, Jupiter will help you in that. It will give you creative solutions to your problems. Jupiter will also act in a way that it will give you proper roles in your career, in your business, and you will be able to execute your talent properly. Jupiter aspect on 10th house ensures that the roles that you will fulfill in your job will actually give you accomplishments, success, name, fame. And with Jupiter aspecting the 12th house, people who want to take a student loan to study in a foreign country, who wants to go to a foreign country for career purpose, who want to do, who want to employ other people from different parts of the world, somebody who is into export and import, someone who is into academics, someone who is into occult sciences as a career, can serve a lot of people and can actually have a very good career. People involved in service industry, people involved in medical field, pharmaceutical field, healthcare, nursing, childcare, kindergarten schools will see great boost when Jupiter will be in the 6th house. But this boost is accompanied with struggle. It's like examination and you get a question paper. Now, if you say, no, I don't want the question paper, I don't want to solve any of the question, but give me first ranking. Now that's absurd. You have to prove yourself. So for Scorpio, this is the time to prove. Jupiter will also aspect your second house. So try to understand, the more responsible you become, the more creatively you are trying to solve a problem, it's your bank account which will get the feedback. Also, there can be certain issues in the family. There can be certain problems with your children, or issues in the children's education can trouble you or can put you into some sort of burden. Chant Narayan mantras Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya or Vishnu Sahasranam, Vishnu Shodashanama Stotra to absorb all that energy. Meditate on the problems for 15 minutes every day. Every person has some or the other problem. Meditate on it for 10-15 minutes every day, and you will get the answers, or at least you will get the hint from where you can get all your answers. People suffering from medical issue should be careful during this time. The medical issues can outgrow to a certain point, but again, this is to bring your attention, and you will also get proper medical treatment if you put your attention. The basic theme will be that if there is a problem that pops up during Jupiter in Bharini, leave everything behind, because that is the one area Jupiter wants you to focus. So leave everything and focus at that one area of life, and you will see Jupiter will heal you. Take this transit as a healing transit. Sagittarius. Now Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So is your 4th house. Your Lagna Lord is Jupiter. That means kind of Jupiter rules your entire life. The fulcrum of your life is Jupiter, and this Jupiter is in your 5th house. Now this is like a brilliant transit. Lagna Lord in 5th house, aspecting the entire trine, aspecting your 11th house. This is like wish fulfillment for you. When Jupiter goes in 5th house, it is in fact a Karaka of the 5th house. So if I take away the childbirth scenario from life, then Jupiter in 5th house is a position where you will learn a lot through scriptures. You will learn a lot and gain a lot through mantras. Jupiter in 5th will also expand your intelligence, your power to express. It will refine you, refine your expression, refine your knowledge, and will take away all the negativity from life. And when Jupiter comes in Bharini Nakshatra, the nakshatra of Shukra, the nakshatra of Yamadev, then the knowledge that will help you survive in the most difficult times, the knowledge that helps you survive in the most do or die situation will come to you. So this is the perfect time to safeguard your life, your financial assets, and your future. So if you want to think something about future, your retirement planning, something that is saving yourself for an emergency, finding out difficult scenarios that may come, all the negativity that may appear in your life, this is the time of highest positivity that can counter, and it is now where you can plan about the negative side of the life, not when you are actually there. Everyone will face some time in their life where there will be difficulties, obstacles, hurdles, doesn't matter who. Everybody will face it. This Jupiter will help you intuitively look at that part of life and try to guess it and then solve it. Say for example, you may assume that right now the job is under threat, and there's a little bit of hint or an intuition that you might go for a job loss, or you might have to change the job. Say someone is in social media, there is a hint that the followers may reduce, the influence may go away. Act on it now. Try to create a backup plan. Try to create assets that will serve your purpose of finances, serve the purpose of bringing food on the table for the family. And this Jupiter in Bharini will allow you to increase your productivity and think innovative solution to your problem. See, Bharini is a very creative nakshatra. It gives birth to new things. So when Jupiter is in Bharini, the occult energies will be so strong that it will internally help you to come up with new methods to solve life's issues. It can be any issue. It can be marriage, it can be business, it can be career. Now when Jupiter is in 5th, it aspects 9th, 11th and 1st. So definitely you will learn a lot of things, and from inside you will change in Bharini due to the effect of Bharini Nakshatra. From within, there will be a internal transformation, and also there will be an external manifestation of that transformation. People who are looking for weight loss, people who are looking to correct the thyroid, people who are looking to correct their digestive system, this is the right time. Go Satvik. See, Bharini is a nakshatra which has the power to take you to an interdimensional travel. So Jupiter in Bharini in 5th will give you a thought process that will go beyond a certain reach, and you will be able to think at angles which nobody will be able to think, especially if you are a Sagittarius moon sign, because it now affects your mind. So this is the right time to think creatively. People who are involved in academic fields, occult fields like astrology, tarot, vastu, people who are more focused towards Tantra Vidya, people who are more focused towards learning the Vedas and the scriptures, people who are focused on the medical part of medical sciences, focusing on the alimentary canal, focusing on the stomach region of the body, digestive region of the body, people who are expert in liver, will see some new area, some new venture, some new avenues during this time that will help them express positively. For a lot of people who are in corporate, will see new trend where they would want to learn. So there will be a natural curiosity to learn more during this time. A lot of people will also experience a new era in their life where real estate will become a savior for them. People involved in real estate sector will also see good boost. But remember one thing, if you are earning money while Jupiter is in Bharini Nakshatra, you must ensure that a fraction of it should go for a good cause. Jupiter will not fulfill your expectations until you show that you have learned the lesson and become a true positive person. Because the thought process will, cross dimensions, philosophers, thinkers, scientists, engineers will come up with innovative solutions. So you can be a great, if you are into law, you will be able to define or redefine things in a much better way. And if you are a lawmaker, then you will be able to make laws that will transcend generations to come. And Jupiter in 5th house will also, in Bharani, will also give you an essence of love and romance. So people who are having a bad marriage will see positive energies coming their way. Now come to the area which 5th house is famous for, Putra Bhava. Putra means Santan, boy or girl. Now, when Jupiter goes there, there is a sutra called Karko Bhavanasham. We should not ignore the fact that Rahu is also present there. So with Rahu in Ashwini and Jupiter in Bharani, if you are focusing on the childbirth, you must follow the sanskar. You must follow the scriptures. You must see the right time. You must see the horoscope. You must focus on the energies associated with your horoscope. Because Bharani is a gateway. What will come from that gate is totally upon your karma. It can be a divine energy and it can be a devil's influence also. So when somebody is trying to conceive during this time, or somebody is trying to open spiritual portals through Kundalini Kriya this time, be very, very careful. Don't take this transit lightly. This transit aspects your 9th house. Jupiter is in the 5th house. One wrong move, and what sense? Say somebody wants to conceive but is completely engrossed in substance abuse, alcohol, smoking, tamasic energy, it will simply destroy you. Because Jupiter's entire focus will be to bring creativity but also give justice, or at least the cognizance of justice. So you will have this lot of self-realization in your way. That what have I done in my life? And this can put you into a mental loop that will take away to the past, and then you will be completely engrossed in that, and it's a time loop. You are stuck in a time loop. Why? Saturn retrograde aspects this Jupiter-Rahu conjunction. And Jupiter-Rahu, Guru Chandal, which is no longer in a very close conjunction, will affect you a lot. Then you will have to wait until 30th October. The month of November will be much better for you because Rahu will no longer be in the 5th house. Take care of your health. Take care of your identity. Fame is on the cards. Success is on the cards. But then how do you process it? How do you digest it? What are you consuming? It totally depends on that. And with Bharini as the energy, and with Venus going between Cancer and Leo, then from Leo to Cancer, and then again from this Venus is going to oscillate. It will move to Leo, then it will go retrograde, it will fall back to Cancer. Remember, Cancer and Leo are your 8th and 9th house. That means Venus, which is Maya, which is luxury, which is relationship, will see a lot of ups and downs and uncertainties. So will your 6th and 11th house, which is your Upchay houses as well as your income houses. Hidden enemies will come. Focus more on the diabetes, weight management, and focus more on you being a guru. Learn and share your learnings. Capricorn. Now, in case of Capricorn, if you observe, Jupiter rules your 12th house, Jupiter rules your 3rd house. So, Jupiter is more about your initiatives, your expression. It talks about your siblings. And also it is somewhat that rules your losses, your expenses, your foreign travel, long distance travel. Also Jupiter talks about isolation. So when this Jupiter goes in Bharini Nakshatra in your 4th house is a good house for Jupiter, because in the Kalpurush, Jupiter goes exalt in the zodiac sign of Cancer. So in the 4th house, Jupiter will aspect your 10th house, 8th house and 12th house. And because Jupiter aspects 12th house, which is its own zodiac sign, this is the time for recovery, financial recovery. So investments made during this time, financial decisions taken during this time, creative financial decisions taken during this time will actually benefit you in financial profits, especially in business. People who are looking for good career growth will see some progress. And Jupiter in 4th house expands the horizon of comfort. It brings more comfort in your life, and this may mean that you are spending a lot of money. Spending money to make you happy, spending money for travel, spending money to make you comfortable. Nothing wrong in that. But if you focus completely on material comforts, remember Jupiter in Bharini is more occult in nature than more material. So if you focus on material comforts, that's fine, but you have to focus on internal comforts. You will have to focus on comfort of the mind. You will have to focus on your own health issues. How can you take initiatives into your life and change what is toxic, change what is negative, and bring more positive? 4th house is also the house of compassion, love. And when Jupiter is in Bharini, it increases the quotient of love. So you will see that you will feel things more differently. You will absorb things more differently, and you will have a greater compassion and love towards people around you, towards nature, towards yourself. You will have this motherly feeling to take care, this nurturing, and this emotional sense of mind will actually enhance the beautiful side of the personality. Jupiter in 4th house primarily aspects to Trikbhava, 8th and 12th house. And because Jupiter's drishti is always said to be auspicious, for Capricorn Ascendant and Capricorn Moon sign, it takes care of most of the problems. Therefore, it is there to bring you solutions, bring you relief, especially relief from being isolated. So it will bring more friends. Relief from real estate issues. So if you want to sell a property, if you want to buy a property, you may think during this time. Bharini is also nakshatra of life and death. So there can be, this Jupiter can put you in a situation where you will have very less options, or maybe no option at all. And when you choose the path of Jupiter, Guru, you will see that you will be happy. So don't be tensed if you are left optionless. So don't feel helpless. Pray to Mahalakshmi. Jupiter's aspect in 8th house increases longevity. Longevity of marriage, longevity of career, longevity of investment, longevity of your health. So definitely Jupiter will force you to take certain measures in life, and basically this is a transit of decluttering and detoxification. both internal and external. So you will see the relationship, the people who were toxic for you will simply start separating away from you. And Jupiter aspecting 12th house also means that it will end isolation if isolation is negative for you. But if you are too much in chaos and you are comfortable with chaos, Jupiter will silence everything. And suddenly you will feel this resonating sound coming from inside because outside sound is kept silent. How can this happen? Maybe your close friend goes away, there is a fight, there's a breakup, or you have traveled to a different country, you have traveled to a different place. There can be relocation to a different city, different country for career, for leisure purpose. But somehow there is a sense of isolation if you are in chaos. This isolation will make you think because Bharini transcends the dimension. It will make you think of solutions that you have never thought before, especially solutions related to business and career. Now, because it is 4th house, it will make you kind hearted. It will make you more spiritual. It will increase the interest on the energy exchange between you and all the people around you in a spiritual sense. You will be able to guess the problems and you will be more empathetic during this time. So anyone who has an afflicted moon, and if you're a Capricorn ascendant, you should be watchful. Because one thing is to be empathetic and to, do something for the person who is suffering. And one thing is accepting their suffering and you should suffer on their behalf. I think that is worst thing that you can do. There is no transfer of suffering. And if you accept it, then you will be facing all the negative energy, which is going to further deteriorate your karma. So it is better that you be a benevolent person, you be a good Samaritan, you help. But then if you have an afflicted moon, you have to keep a watch on your emotions and sentiments also. 4th house Jupiter in Bharini can also sometimes increase lust, and person can take intoxication. This is the negative effect of it, in order to free himself up from the chaos and to silence itself. And that can bring you a momentary relief. But then because Saturn, which is in your 2nd house, which is your Lagna Lord also, aspects this Jupiter, which is with Rahu, wrong way to bring happiness will be met with severe punishment, especially financial punishment. But the right way, which is the Jupiterian way, which is more authentic way, you can innovate, you can be a great innovator, you can be a scientist. It is a very good time for students. It's a very good time for people who want to travel abroad, who want to innovate, who want to experiment. But otherwise, for just a normal person, a layman person, you have to be watchful of thoughts that is developing in your mind. If the thoughts are more influenced by Rahu, ignore them. That means if there are tamasic thoughts, ignore them. And if there are sattvic thoughts, embrace them. Jupiter will be heavily associating itself through food. So correct your food immediately. Go sattvic and try not to eat any non-vegetarian food, alcohol, smoking, all that should be avoided. Anything that is tamasic in nature, even garlic, should be avoided during Jupiter's transit in Bharini Nakshatra in your 4th house. Because it aspects your 10th house, career growth is possible. You will feel more comfortable. Maybe you're looking for a new change, a new role, a new company. That is possible during this time if your horoscope allows. In 4th house, Jupiter transit is more like a guru, more like, a motherly touch here. So pray to Ma Bhagavati by chanting Durga Saptashati, or by simply saying, taking the name of Ma Kali. If you pray to the goddess, to the mother goddess, and just bow down at her feet, you will feel that compassion, that love showering on you, which will give you this relief. Remember, this is a transit that will calm you down, will bring you peace, will help you walk away, but will also demand sacrifices. You can't hold on to something and then expect freedom from it. Expect freedom, but also expect change within you, also expect transformation within you. But this is ultimately a positive transit for Capricorn, a much needed relief after 3 years. Aquarius. For Aquarius, Jupiter rules your 11th house and 2nd house. Jupiter is your Dhana Lord. And this Jupiter is in 3rd house, going into Bharini Nakshatra, the nakshatra of Shukra, which rules your 4th and 9th house. So definitely this is an auspicious transit, but Jupiter do not perform well in 3rd house. So when Jupiter goes in Bharini Nakshatra, this is going to be a time where correction of mistakes will happen. Doesn't matter how long ago the mistake was done. So be ready to correct your mistakes, be ready to accept your mistakes, and be ready to show gratitude to the planet Brihaspati. Financially, this is going to be a correcting time. Your investments, your decisions, the gains, the money coming into your bank account, the advice coming from your spouse, the advice coming from your family, your connection, your network, all will come together. And you will have to take some creative steps to implement what has been suggested. And you will do that. Rahu and Jupiter with Jupiter in Bharani is highly, highly occult and tantric in nature. This Jupiter also aspects your 7th, 9th and 11th house. So while being in the 3rd, aspecting the 11th house, Jupiter ensures that your wishes will be fulfilled. But you will have to be creative. That means you will have to take that extra mile, take that leap of faith. But the question is, if you're taking a leap of faith, are you under the influence of Jupiter or are you under the influence of Rahu? Saturn is also in your 1st house. On 21st of June, when Jupiter enters Bharini Nakshatra, Saturn becomes retrograde in your 1st house. And this retrograding Saturn in the 1st will aspect this Jupiter. That means you will become your own blockage. Certain tasks you are doing in the right direction, suddenly you will stop it. This is the influence of Rahu. And a retrograde Saturn otherwise will make you rethink, churn, focus more on what is happening in your life, and then take creative decision. This may be a life and death scenario for you. This may be a do and die scenario for you. So, you will have to bring all the courage in. Focus on motivated efforts and actually execute the task instead of procrastinating, because procrastination will be a biggest problem during this time. Because 3rd house Jupiter make you think a lot, will give you a lot of knowledge. But when it comes time to implement it practically, Jupiter does not have the strength to do that. Focus on your Mars. People who have strong Mars in their chart will be able to execute the task. But if you have a weak Mars in your chart, then it will be difficult for you. You will make plans, you will think a lot. There will come opportunities, but nothing will materialize. So you need to ensure that you are empowering your Mars and Venus. You should chant Hanuman Chalisa every day. And also you should every Friday you should chant Shri Suktam. This will at least give you some hope of changing your life, because change is inevitable. But the problem is 3rd house. Rahu being in the 3rd house, Saturn retrograde in the 1st house. That's the main problem. If you want to play safe, you can wait till the month of November, when Rahu will no longer be in your 3rd house. It will be only Jupiter. But if you don't take action now, the results of the action will not come in October. So that's the dilemma. It's like a catch-22 situation. So what should you do? A retrograde Saturn on Lagna, I'm focusing there because it's your Lagna Lord, talks about Samudra Manthan, internal churning. And Jupiter in Bharini in the 3rd house shows one area of life ends, the other area of life begins. One chapter ends, other chapter begins. Something creative is being done there. And you are taking some bold steps in your life. Especially in relation to the life of your younger siblings. Something will change in their life that will influence you a lot, or their existence, their word, their interaction with you will force you to take certain decisions that you cannot have taken earlier, and you will take it now. Do it wisely. Don't come under the influence of Rahu. Don't do it because of greed, for show of power. Don't do it for the ego. Do it because you need it. Go by the phenomena of what I need is more important and what I want. On the other hand, Jupiter will aspect 7th house, which will bring more positive energy in the marriage. It will bring profits in business. Your wishes will be fulfilled if you follow the right path. And because Jupiter aspects the 9th house, the right guidance will come, but in an encoded manner. A direct guidance will not come to you. Bharini is a very mystical nakshatra. So you will get a lot of mystical information, repeating numbers, dreams. You can use astrology as a method, you can use tarot as a method to get answers. You can simply meditate if that is not accessible to you. But do something mystical in nature. The inner energies must be explored during this time for Aquarius Ascendant natives. You are supposed to look inward. Because if you don't look inward, then Jupiter in the 3rd house will only frustrate you. But if you look inwards and if you focus on the spiritual side of life, Jupiter in Bharini will make you do. Jupiter won't do anything, but it will make you do things that will become a fruitful tree after 3-4 months. People who want to travel, who want to take initiatives related to starting a new business, a new project, all that is possible. Something new will happen in your life. A new career, a new role, a new business, a new idea coming into your mind. Now, whether you execute it or not will be up to you. It will be up to Mars in your birth chart. And if you are in Mars Mahadasha, and if your Mars is strong, expect miraculous changes in your life. Jupiter transit in Bharini Nakshatra, and in future, Jupiter will become retrograde in Bharini, is going to bring tremendous amount of change in your life. And if you're in Jupiter Mahadasha, then this Jupiter in Bharini will change your personality, will change the way you deal with and see your finances, will make your money more productive. So it is actually a good transit, but then you will have to act upon it. Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, so is your 10th house. And this Jupiter will be in Bharini Nakshatra in your 2nd house, aspecting the 10th house. Which means that there will be some changes in the family. There will be some change in your value system that will affect your career. And the way your career affects your life will be that you will change yourself to somehow accommodate yourself in the livelihood. Like for example, you have been doing a job in a certain shift, say 9 to 5 shift, but now you're working in 1 to 10 shift, or you're working in night shift. So you are kind of accommodating with the circumstance because of the career. Maybe you are being asked to work for long hours and you have a family. You want to spend time with your family. You want to go for a vacation, but then you are cancelling that because you need to work. This is where the work-life balance will be the theme of Bharini Nakshatra Jupiter transit for you. On one way, this Jupiter is going to expand the horizon of finances and the money will come. But because Rahu is placed there, why are you earning money? At what cost are you earning money? Are you with your family? Are you listening to the advice given by your family? Because Jupiter in 2nd house will look at all these things. And when Jupiter is in 2nd house, it aspects your 6th and 8th house, 2 of the Trik Bhava. This has the potential to help you recover from a financial disaster, help your projects grow big. It can bring in investors, because Jupiter Rahu means somebody else's money. So businessmen will benefit a lot during this time. And because Jupiter aspects your 6th house, it has the potential to resolve issues in your life. But not all issues can be resolved through money. That also you have to remember. It can backfire. So do not use power of money, but use money as a tool to solve your problems, but not in a negative way, but in a sattvic way. You must be following the law, because Saturn's retrogression in the 12th house will be aspecting the Jupiter and Rahu in the 2nd. Whatever money you will gain otherwise can be lost, because if Saturn gets enraged, it will simply accelerate the loss and you will leave the place where you are employed. There can be emotional issues, there can be setbacks, there can be business issues. So instead of, see, Bharani has a very mysterious aura. It can be positive coming to your life, or it can be a haunted ghost, which is to scare you. Because Bharani is ruled by Yamaraj. It's a matter of transcendental information. It's a matter of life and death. It's a matter of do and die situation. Although it's not bad because Jupiter is your Lagna Lord, but because it is in the second house means resources. You will feel insecure during this time and you would want to capture as much as you can. And the moment it is like a test. The moment you go tamasic in nature, it will hit your finances and your career. But if you maintain that sattvic attitude, if you maintain that spiritual attitude, and if you continuously do two things, continuously take the name of God, like Ram, 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 Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Continuously do the Naam Japa. Jai Shri Ram, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. When you do that, and if you eat sattvic food, your Rahu energies will go down. And Jupiterian energy will take over. And the Bharani, which is a nakshatra of divine mystical energies, will heal the Jupiter. Therefore, healing your 10th and the first house. Helping you recover financially, helping you recover from the health, helping you recover from issues in marriage. Biggest of the issues can be resolved during this time if you are playing the right role in your life. Desperation will not work here. Also, people who want to invest money can invest, but focus on secured investment. Risk should be avoided during this time. You will also see that you will win over enemies. There will be out of court settlements for a lot of people who are, in court cases, who are stuck in problems. Jupiter will also increase your name and fame. People will love your work. People will appreciate your work. And mystically, your voice will have a greater influence when Jupiter will be in Bharani Nakshatra. Try to help as many people as you can. Donate food. Distribute food wherever is possible for you. And anyone who is employed in business of tobacco, alcohol, fertilizers, chemicals, should be very, very cautious. And somebody who is employed into medical field, who is a nurse, pharmacy, who opens a pharmacy, who is a Vaidya, anyway, by any chance you are associated with medical care, you will see a great boost by this Jupiter, which is in Bharani, a mysterious boost. This can also change the equation in the family, and the way you interact with your family member and the way the family member interacts with you will change slightly, and you will feel that change. You will feel something is different. For people who have afflicted Jupiter in their birth chart, and if you are a Pisces ascendant or even moon sign, should be watchful of your dreams, of what you speak and what you eat. There can be nightmares. That is why if you are having that negative wave of emotion and you are too troubled by the resource that you have and you have no idea how to, bring food on the table, or you have no idea how to solve this debt crisis that you are in, then you need to chant Gajendra Moksha. Praying to Bhagavan Narayan and Ma Lakshmi during this time, and praying to Narayan in the form of Gajendra Moksha will be extremely helpful. But remember, if your problem is not that big, don't chant. But if you feel that you are too trapped and you have done your everything and nothing is working, then pray to Bhagavan Narayan. Jupiter in Bharani has potential to change your life for good that you have never seen before. It can solve biggest of the financial crisis, biggest of the health and the debt crisis. Just completely surrender to Bhagavan Narayan. You will see improvements in marriage, improvements in communication. You will see people's behavior towards you will change for good. And it will have this expansion of vitality in your life. This vital force will increase. So do a lot of pranayam. People who are involved in tantra should be very careful. Any mantra chanting done during this time will be extremely helpful. Now this is a tip for Pisces ascendant. Who is your sixth lord? Leo. Leo is ruled by Sun. Sixth house is Leo. Leo ruled by Sun. do Surya Gayatri Mantra 21,000 times. I am giving a very general advice. A simple Surya Gayatri Mantra 21,000 times during this period of Jupiter in Bharani. You will see the difference that it will create in your life. It will rapidly cut down the negative prarabdha and will give a lot of positive energy.